Okay, so I think we're live, Jai. All right. So today we'll be hearing from Srila Prabhupada, the pure devotee, Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And what we'll be hearing is the realization of the pure devotee. A lot of people are confused. They don't understand that the position of the Acharya or the pure devotee is very unique. And a lot of people in ISKCON, specifically the disciples of the Kanishta Adhikari ISKCON gurus, they are bewildered. They think everyone is on the same platform. But this education, Hare Krishna, all right. So we have people joining in. Let's get them in. All right, Majority Prabhu, we're live. So just sending people messages and then we'll get started. Let me send Narayan Prabhu a message and some other people.
Maybe better to call him.
Can you call him?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll send him the link. Thank you. All right, so I'll play the lecture in the meantime. All right, Prabhupada ki jai. All right.
Translation: such a liberated soul attains, realizes the absolute personality of Godhead, which is transcendental and is manifest as reflection even a false ego, and is the support of the material cause, and enter in everything absolute without a second, and the eyes of the illusory energy. But a pure devotee can see presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. He is present there as reflection only, and a pure devotee can realize that in the darkness of material illusion, the only light is the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, and He is the support, as it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, that the background of the material manifestation is Lord Krishna, and it is as it is supported in the Brahma Samhita that Krishna is the cause of all causes, and it is supported by the Brahma Samhita that the Supreme Lord, by his partial or plenary expansion, is not only within the universe, each and every universe, but he is present in every atom, although he is one without a second. Word used in this verse
All right. Okay, so Jai. Now, Narayan Prabhu, you ready to rock and roll?
Ready,
Okay.
ready to dance the polka.
Jai. All right. So I wanted to start off by this is a realization that Prabhupada puts in his books. So this is right in line with our theme of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and then the realization of the pure devotee. So I'll play it for about 2 minutes, and then we'll have a discussion on this, and then we'll go from there. We'll branch off from there.
Excellent.
So here we go. Stop this. So I'll put it on the screen so everyone can follow also. Rupa Manjari is coming on also. All right.
Yes, she got me.
All right. So let me get things going here. All right. Screen sharing. Let me get this. Right. All right. So I'll get started now. This is, where is it? This is here. I'll tell you exactly what this is. This is Srimad Bhagavatam dictation, 3rd canto, 27th chapter, verse 11. We're going to just be covering verse 11. It's going to be about 3 minutes. And the whole tape is about 31 minutes and 33 seconds. And Prabhupada is dictating the Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto. And then let's play it.
Is this from his unedited dictation tape?
Yeah, this is, yes, exactly as it is. No additions have been done to the tape. It's Prabhupada speaking only. That's it. All right.
Great.
Translation, such a liberated soul.
Is the sound coming? Such a liberated
Yes.
soul. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me get things going.
Attains, translation, such a liberated soul attains and realizes the absolute personality of Godhead, who is transcendental and is manifest as reflection even in the false ego, and is the purport of the material cause,
So how's it going?
and enter in everything
Was last night's
absolute
Zoom
without
call
a second,
okay, even though I was on the
and
phone?
the eyes of the illusory energy. But a pure devotee can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. He is present there as reflection only.
Hello?
And,
Are you playing something?
A pure devotee can
Can you
realize
hear?
Copy.
that
Yes.
in the
I can't hear
darkness
anything. I can't hear
of material
You can't hear the Prabhupada speaking the dictation of the purport?
No, just silence.
Why are you hearing? Rupa Manjari, are you hearing or no?
Yeah, I'm hearing clearly.
Rupa Manjari can hear. Why you cannot hear? Narayan Prabhu? Can
I
you-
don't know. What
Huh.
should I do?
There's nothing to do with the settings, Rupa. You can hear, right? Without any setting changes to your.
Yeah, it's just playing. I can hear it.
Huh.
I can hear you, but I can't hear the recording at all. Should I log back in?
Yeah. Yes. Log out and log back in because this is.
I don't want to miss this at all.
Yeah. You don't want to miss it. Yes. Okay. Interesting. Why he cannot hear? Anyways, let's.
Not interesting to me.
Oh, hold on. Let me play it right now. So maybe you can hear now.
illusion, the only light is
Can you hear now?
Yes.
Oh, you couldn't hear the whole, Prabhupada spoke the translation and purport. You couldn't hear that part.
I didn't hear anything
What?
until just now.
Okay. How about right now? Can you hear?
and is manifest as
Can you hear now?
reflection even
Yes.
in the false ego, and is the purport of the material cause, and the illusory energy. But a pure devotee.
Okay, so let me read the translation if we missed it. It's saying, such a liberated soul attains realization that the absolute personality of Godhead, who is transcendental and is manifested as a reflection even in the false ego, and is the support of the material cause, and entered in everything, absolute without a second, and he is the eyes of the illusionary energy. Can you hear? Narayan Prabhu, can you see on this?
Yes,
And now Prabhupada will explain the purport. We'll hear the purport now. It's going to be about 2 minutes. Where is it? Let's go.
Can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. He is present there as reflection only, and a pure devotee can realize that in the darkness of material illusion, the only light is the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, and he is the support, as it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, that the background of the material manifestation is Lord Krishna, and it is supported in the Brahma Samhita that Krishna is the cause of all causes, and it is supported by the Brahma Samhita that the Supreme Lord, by his partial or plenary expansion, is not only within the universe, each and every universe, but he is present in every atom, although he is one without a second. Word used in this verse, of them without a second, that means although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is represented in everything, including the atoms, he is of them. It is not that he is divided. How he is present in everything is explained in the next verse. Text.
Okay, so everyone heard the purport, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll read the purport again. A pure devotee can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. He is present there as reflection only, and a pure devotee can realize that in the darkness of material illusion, the only light is the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, and he is support, as it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, that the background of the material manifestation is Lord Krishna. And as it is supported in the Brahma Samhita, that Krishna is the cause of all causes, and it is supported by the Brahma Samhita that the Supreme Lord, by his partial or plenary expansion, he is not only within the universe, each and every universe, but he is present in every atom, although he is one without a second. The word used in this verse is avayam, without a second. That means although the personality of Godhead is represented in everything, including the atoms, he is avayam. It is not that he is divided. How he is present in everything is explained in the next verse. So we were talking about the realization of the pure devotee, and what a realization he has here. The first the first sentence he makes. A pure devotee can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested. Narayan Prabhu, does that ring a bell? Where is the ant? What's your duty to the ant?
What?
Does that ring a bell? What's your duty to the ant? Do you see the ant?
Oh, yes. But it's to be understood that this is an explanation to those who think that Krishna may be trapped within the material world and that all the expansions are separate from him. This is a beginner's understanding of the all-pervasiveness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That he is everywhere, and that anyone in the material world who is surrounded as we are right now with darkness, unless we're in India, that such a person as ourselves, the only light that exists is Krishna. So we say not to be fooled by reflected light like stars and moons and suns, but to understand that the only actual light is emanating from Krishna's transcendental body, not from any other source.
Jai.
Okay.
Yes. Anyone else want to share a realization? And how about the part of Krishna being present in every atom? I looked up the word, how many atoms the human body has. It's like it's beyond. It's a number that is I never heard of. How many atoms are in a human body? It's like
and if you double that number, you might be getting close.
No, not even double. It's like it seems like unlimited. At least just see how Krishna is present.
Like 500 zeros. Or
something like that. Yeah, the scientists were saying something like that. So just see, how Krishna is present in every atom in the human body.
Well, yeah, and in every atom of the bodies of the germ in the human body.
Yes. There he says, each and every universe, but he is present in every atom.
Yeah, but you remember, for Krishna, this is easy. Actually, not easy. It's effortless.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have to do effort. He is in a realm devoid of what we refer to as time. So when we see all of these things happening in the material world, we say, oh my God, it's so complicated. There's so many, he's manifested so many times. Oh my goodness gracious, like that. But it's not really like that, because the entire material universe doesn't have that much dimension. It has dimension from our perspective, but it doesn't have dimension from the Krishna Loka perspective, because in Krishna Loka, there is no time and there is no dimension. Right?
Dimension is a material content.
All preaching to the ant, as you put it. It's all diversified perceptions that has nothing to do with reality and practically nothing to do with Krishna, because Krishna doesn't require being in the heart of every atom, but he is, because it's effortless for him to do that. But in terms of being the heart of every atom, the atom is part of something that's going to be destroyed. The atoms aren't destroyed, but the things that atoms make of, things made of atoms are destroyed, including our material bodies. So this is all just a play acting in the material world. It has very little to do with, it has nothing to do with the sense of existence in Krishna Loka. Because Prabhupada said, once you go back to Krishna Loka and you look back, it's sort of like you can't remember having been in the material world, because what seems to us, a long time, 100 years, and then you die, doesn't exist. It doesn't actually exist here either. What exists here is the Jiva and Krishna. And all the rest is a fantasy that flows, a Mayic fantasy. And it creates the illusion of time. Well, let's just take into account fruit flies that live for a day or two. and to take into account elephants and tortoises that live for hundreds of years.
Yes.
And then take human beings that God knows, in spite of themselves, manage to live to 100 sometimes. So
Yeah.
when we have all of those things, but what does it mean? Does it mean that the experience of life of the fruit fly is that much abbreviated compared to that of a human being? No, the fruit fly has a complete and satisfied birth and death experience within his body.
Yes.
He has absolutely no idea that there are other entities like humans that are watching fruit flies come and go over a matter of days.
Yeah, that's a very good example. Yes, yes. So people can see it in perspective that Krishna is watching just like that.
Yeah. So he's
And it's all relative.
platform, which
Yes.
means time does not exist.
Yeah. Yes,
Time exists in our brain, and we think Krishna is subject to time because they said, well, if Krishna's in the heart of every living entity and I live for 100 years, so Krishna's trapped here for 100 years. Very funny. No, because we don't live for 100 years. Everything in the material world happens in a flash.
Yeah.
It's only Maya that convinces us that the material experience is taking time. The material experience is not taking time because our existence as jivas, I came to that understanding a few days ago when I was saying that, you chant the holy name of the Shakti Vishavatar in the form of the holy name once, and you go back to Godhead. Then the Banus of this world will say, but how long at the end of my birth, how long will it take before I go back to Godhead? And it occurred to me, although I haven't gotten much substantiation to back it up at this point, but what else could it mean? That the minute you chant the holy name of Krishna, that is Krishna. Therefore, it's on the absolute plane in Krishna Loka. You're a jiva, you're in Krishna Loka. The whole Mayic experience is an illusion. It's like when you're asleep at night, you may dream that you're doing something that takes years of time. Then you wake up and it hasn't been 5 hours even. You see?
Your realization has been answered here. A pure devotee can see the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in everything materially manifested.
Yes.
That's your answer you're looking for.
Yeah. Because Krishna is not limited by time.
Yes.
He's not limited by time. He says, time I am the destroyer of all things. That should be it. Because if he is time, the destroyer of all things, what gets destroyed ever, anywhere, under any circumstance, except something material? Eh?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Materially manifested. Yeah.
Yeah. So time destroys material, but time does not exist in Krishna Loka. So when he says time, I am time, the destroyer of all things, he means he is the one wiping the slate clean.
Yeah.
At all times.
So we can understand
time.
We can understand, or not understand, but time is actually acting on the material body, but not on the soul.
Right. The soul.
Yes. Our bodies are changing, but since this is kind of a materialistic concept that I have. Because we are spirit souls, our bodies are changing from boyhood to youth to old age. But why doesn't our understanding remain the same? Like our understanding evolves according to the body, but I want my understanding to be exactly.
No, it doesn't.
Huh?
It doesn't evolve according to the body. Our understanding of ourself as the material body changes with time.
Okay. Can you say that?
But if I see Aham Brahmasmi, then the body changes just the way a leaf gets green and then brown on the tree in the fall. It has nothing to do with life.
So
it has to do with temporariness. So
what?
If we identify with our temporary body and we involve our consciousness in what our temporary body is going through, yeah, it looks like these things are changing, but they're not. Separate yourself from the material body. Stay separate from the material body, and you'll see that you are the witness to things changing around you in the material world. You're not changing. All those things are changing.
Yeah, the material body is changing. Yes. By the influence of...
But if we put our consciousness into the body without beating it with a shoe, as we might say, or with a stick at night, if we don't beat our mind with the shoe and take it out of the body and keep it with ourselves, the soul, then the body seems to have experiences. But the body doesn't have experiences. The body has organic functions, just like water landing on dirt turns into mud. That's not a very conscious experience. It's just a physical thing.
Right.
Right? So anytime we think we know something, understand something, have realized something, we're teasing ourselves in the midst of our body. We have to detach ourselves from the body. When I say detach ourselves, we have to separate our mind. When I say ours, I mean as the soul's mind, but the mind belongs to the soul. Take it out of the body. If it won't go, beat it with a shoe. If it really refuses, beat it with a stick, but get it out of the body. It doesn't belong in the body.
So Krishna consciousness means taking the soul. How can you put this?
No, the soul doesn't take anything.
Yeah, the understanding. Yeah, taking the understanding of the soul as the only thing spiritual, and the body is just material, like changing.
Body is a bunch of things, just like mulch, leaves turning into mulch in a mulch heap, you know?
Yeah.
Just like a corpse rotting in the sun. That's the body. It was. Supposing there's a dead animal, it's rotting in the sun. Well, before the animal was running around thinking it was an animal, it was believing in itself as an animal. Then it died, and then the body is rotting. The same body it was running around in, it's just clothing. But identifying with the clothing is so dangerous. How can we identify with that which asat, that which is not? Okay, but anyway, to get to your point, when the soul is independent.
Yes.
Doesn't move, doesn't talk, doesn't do anything.
Okay.
The mind is attached to the body and does everything in its power to convince the soul that it belongs to the body. Oh, I am a philosopher. Oh, I am a theologian. Oh, I am a man that makes beer out of hops. Oh, I am
I'm an ISKCON guru.
Women, you know, I mean, we can identify with any sort of thing that we want. If the mind convinces us to do that. But we say, no. We say, no. Beat the mind with the shoe. Take it out of the body and let the body function without the sense of being a person. And if you say that, well, what keeps the body from just vanishing? What kept Prabhupada's body from just vanishing if he didn't identify with it?
Yeah, that's a good question. What's the answer to that?
And the answer to that is
Krishna?
No, it means the jiva is separate from the soul, but the body, the jiva is the soul separate from the body, taking the mind with the jiva inside the body like an overcoat, like a raincoat, a thin plastic raincoat. It has no substance to itself and certainly no personality. So what keeps the body going? That is the three modes of material nature under the influence of the planets, astrology. Astrology pertains to the body, not the soul.
But how does the soul gets affected? I mean, the soul does not get affected. The the soul, no, the mind entangles the soul, thinking that it's the body, right? It tricks.
Well, it tries to trick the soul when the soul is bewildered.
Yeah.
Remember, in the theistic museum, there's a chariot. The soul is there in a state of terror. The mind is holding onto the reins of the 5 horses. The horses are charging off without regard for anybody. Those are the senses. And so the soul is identifying that the horses are in charge of the whole show. But when you get the mind back and say, look, you don't supposed to be holding onto those reins of the horses. Let go of the fucking, never mind that language. Let go of the reins. Well, what about it'll be a disaster? No, it won't, because I'm the soul, you're the mind. We stick together, it will not be a disaster. The disaster is you trying to control the senses as the mind. That's the disaster. The disaster is not recognizing that the soul is the living being, that the senses are not conscious. We think our sense of touch is a conscious touch of sense. But that's because our mind has been wiggling around inside of our nerve system so that we can feel things when we touch them. But the physical body has no sense of touch. Why? It only has a sense of touch if the mind is involved. Mind gets into the sense of touch, then you think you have a sense of touch.
So, whatever spiritual knowledge we develop right now, for example, or in this present time, why doesn't it automatically continue from birth? Why we have to change our bodies and come to a certain time and then understand all these things? Why isn't it continuing?
We don't understand anything by changing our bodies.
Huh?
What do we understand by changing our bodies?
No, I'm saying that presently I'm situated in this so-called body here. The soul is present, and the soul is manipulating this body.
Say, here's the material body, and I am present in this body.
Yes.
I,
the soul present in this body, right? I'm speaking right now. But
I, the soul, am present in this body.
Yes.
You can't objectify the soul because that's who you are.
Yes, I am the soul, right?
Yeah.
But here's my question though. I have got some realization or some understanding about spirituality. Now I die. Well, the body dies and the soul moves on. It gets another material body. Why do I not continue from that state? Okay, you attained 2% in that spiritual previous body, and now you got another material body. Why don't you continue like that from that level?
Well, you basically do.
You do?
Yeah, because wherever you leave off in this body, you pick it up in your next body. If you're Bhakti Charu Swami, you're going to have a hard time. He looks and acts and sounds like a hedgehog or a porcupine. So it's a porcupine body with Bhakti Charu in it, with his disciples crawling along behind him as baby porcupines. So, right? Because what choice do they have? They accepted him, the fools. They could have had Prabhupada, but no, they chose Bhakti Charu. He died, right?
Yes, he died.
Okay. So right now, his disciples are gradually turning into baby porcupines.
Yeah, yeah.
Why? Because they identified their divine spiritual master who was acting like a porcupine. They wanted that. So now they've got it by becoming porcupines as well. Baby porcupines, following the big fat porcupine who says, I'm only a charge when the GBC says I'm in charge, and if the GBC says I'm not in charge, then I'm not in charge. It doesn't matter. It's all up to ISKCON. It's not up to me. What an atheistic statement that was, right?
Yeah, you saw that, right? I specifically...
I did.
Yeah.
No, I commented on it. I didn't know who it was.
It's horrible. I mean, look at the state of that so-called person, he said, he said that I'm working for the ISKCON, and he didn't say anything that I'm representing my spiritual master Prabhupada, whose desire was to, push on this Krishna consciousness movement.
He's talking exactly like a priest and a cardinal in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
I represent the Pope. No, in this case, not even the Pope. I represent the church.
Hmm.
I'm empowered by the church. I obey the church. Whatever the church tells me to do, that's what I do. If I don't, they'll throw me out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, same thing.
Same thing, exactly. Yeah.
He's supposedly a Hindu.
Yeah. This is
Hindu and you low.
Yeah. This is very troublesome, for people. I don't know why people don't understand it. Like, he's so much.
Well, he probably does understand it, or did understand it, but he doesn't dare say it or act on it because they'll kick him out. He's become a materialistic person in order to be a guru.
He has become a materialistic person
because
he wanted to be a guru. Wow. Yeah, that's dangerous.
If you want to be a guru, you have to be a materialist. And you have to deal with the totalitarian GBC who tells the gurus what to think. What sort of guru is it that has a totalitarian board forcing them what to think?
Yeah.
The guru has to be completely free to speak. All the Hebraic prophets like Ezekiel, Isaiah, they were not very popular with the religious leaders of their time because they were speaking outside the box. But later on, hailed as prophets. Look at
Srila Prabhupada. Our Srila Prabhupada, he was also speaking outside the box. And
yes.
He was doing that in that Vyasa Puja offering to his spiritual master in 48 or something, or 50 something, 59 or whatever that was.
Falgun Krishna Panchami?
Yeah, that one. Falgun Krishna Panchami, yes. He was doing that. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Ramchandra, Danutram. I have a question.
Okay, what is your question? We haven't seen you in a long time. Mohit Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Narayana Prabhu, Danutram.
Jai.
Jai.
You joined at the right time. Go ahead. Yes.
We're talking high level, so please join us on a high level.
Yes.
So when you say that karma, right, spiritual karma, which we were talking about, right, that goes with our next life, that goes with our soul, right? So my question was, other spiritual things which we are done, which are not devotional service, will that come in the karma phase, or they'll go with us with the bhakti? What Prabhupada says that bhakti always goes with you, right? With your soul. That's for sure. So bhakti is devotional service. And
wait, did you say with your soul? Where is your soul?
You gotta think and then give your question. It's a very
yeah. So I'm making a distinction between devotional service bhakti and the karmas. So the spiritual things which we do, right, which are not devotional service, so those are taken as a karma, right? In the next life, I'll row those karmas.
And we will go according to those karmas.
All those spiritual things will come in the devotional service.
Yeah, of course. Just hearing the holy name of Krishna has already, the Krishna holy name is a Shaktivish avatar, just like Parsuram or Lord Buddha. Okay? So because the holy name of Krishna is a Shaktivish avatar, you're already going to go back to Godhead. And considering that Krishna Loka has no time compared to Earth or other planets that have all sorts of different types of time, no lengths of days and whatnot, length of lifetimes of each person, that because there's no time in Krishna Loka, you're already back to Godhead, but your body's still wandering around. trying to find meaning in life of some sort, other than being a pure devotee.
What do you mean the body is wandering around? The body is and the soul are two different elements.
Right.
So
if I am already back to Godhead because I heard the holy name of Krishna once, why aren't I in Krishna Loka? My body wants to do things according to its karmic nature.
but the body has no separate existence. So why are we still identifying with the body?
Is this from the soul?
No, I'm saying the body does not have a separate existence
From what?
from the soul.
Oh, are you joking?
What do you mean I'm joking? The body and the soul are two different things.
You said it has no separate existence. The soul is the separate existence of the body.
Yeah, I'm saying it's two different things. So why are we saying that the body wants to do things? That means the soul is not ready to go back to Godhead.
Well, the soul is still illusioned by the desires of the body.
Yes, precisely.
But the soul, by essence, is already back to Godhead.
The soul is already back to Godhead, but
in principle, the jiva has been delivered by the Holy One.
you're understanding?
Yeah, well, how many things can that mean? If you're if hearing the holy name once guarantees you're going back to Godhead, are we going to measure it in human terms, or are we going to measure it in transcendental terms?
Transcendental terms, yes.
In transcendental terms, we're already back to Godhead. But because we attach to our body still and not completely detached from our body, we're going to wander around through birth after birth. So we might as well spend these wandering births chanting Hare Krishna and delivering the fallen souls, including the grass, the trees, etc.
Every atom, like Prabhupada says, every atom. In this,
well, Krishna's in every atom.
Yeah, and delivering every atom also. He's there.
Oh, the atoms are just material things.
Yeah. Right here, where is it?
The atom is material structure.
Yes,
That's
but
what
it's a
the
but
body's made out of material.
it's a jiva also, so they can be delivered by the holy name.
The atom is a jiva?
Well, an atom means what? A living entity, right?
No.
No?
An atom means a pebble.
Okay, so the atom is not a living entity, meaning that it's
No. The jiva, Paramatma is in the atom, but the atom is not a living entity.
it doesn't have a body. It doesn't have a body of an atom.
No,
It's a part. It's a particle of. It's a particle of super soul.
Oh, an atom is a particle of super soul without an individual jiva residing in an atom. I thought
super soul is in the atom.
What? Can you say that again?
Atom is part of super soul.
Oh, atom is part of super soul. Okay, just like we are also.
Atom is part of super soul.
Okay.
Where did you get that?
No, so I had a wrong understanding here. I thought an atom was a material being that is situated in this body.
There is no such thing as a material being.
I mean the body. I'm talking about a body. The body.
No.
An atom is not a body.
This atom is inert matter.
Okay.
Like a rock or a grain of sand.
Ah, okay.
Grain of sand is not a living being.
It's not a living being. Okay.
Is it?
See. No, it's not a living being. Right.
Right. But there are living beings in the grain of sand.
Ah, okay.
Germs and whatnot. And Paramatma is in the heart of every atom of the sand. Sand is made of a grain of sand is made of huge number of atoms.
Right.
Okay. Microscopic, to say the least.
So, okay, yeah. I had a misunderstanding. So a cell has Paramatma present in it, right?
a human or a living cell,
A living cell in my body has Paramatma and a Jivatma present.
cell is made out of atoms.
A cell is made out of atoms.
Of course. What else would it be made out of?
So the cell has no individual jiva in it. Or does it have one?
No jiva in it. Well, it could have millions. A cell, like a human cell,
Yes, I'm talking about a human cell.
jivas in it. They're called germs.
Yes. So the germs, even though it's an atom,
The
huh?
cell is not the body of the germ. The cell is just a bag in which the germ lives.
Okay. So the germ. So now the germ. So a germ has Paramatma present and the Jivatma present, right?
A germ has jiva. It's just like you and me.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I had a misunderstanding. I thought a germ and an atom was on the same level. No. So that was a
The
misunderstanding.
atom is an elementary material structure.
Yes.
Now, some material structures, like certain gems, like the Shamantaka jewel, have consciousness, but most gems do not. Like if you pick up a piece of crystal geode, it doesn't have. It's not alive. It's not conscious. It's just a crystalline structure that comes about by chemical reaction that made water and minerals turn into a crystal, right?
Jai. Mohit Prabhu, you want to say something?
Yeah, bro. So when we were talking about our soul is in the Golok Dham, so how can our body be here, right? It is destroyed, right? We just reached the platform. We can't come back from there. So how? What's you guys were talking about that, no?
You're saying.
You gotta.
You got
We
the
cannot hear
permission,
you,
Prabhu?
Prabhu. Can you refine the question and say it again?
Prabhu, you were talking about that the soul has reached the Golok Dham, right? It is in the Golok Dham. It's in the realm of that. So when we are there, our body is not there, no? Our soul has reached. That's done. We can't come back from there. So Prabhu was saying that still your body is here and your mind is here. How it's possible? It's not possible. Once you've reached there, it's gone. No, we have reached there.
Can you reiterate that for me, Ramachandra?
Prabhu, you got my point?
Yes, he's saying that when you chant Hare Krishna, you're already back to Godhead. But how can the soul already being back to Godhead and the body being here, right? Mohit Prabhu? The body being
Yeah, you got my point. Point blank
Yeah.
on target.
Yeah. So why does it come back? Well, when the soul is already back to Godhead, when I say Hare Krishna.
It's simultaneous.
Ah,
Just like the jiva is simultaneous, is part and parcel of Krishna, no?
Yeah.
The jiva is part and parcel of Krishna.
yes.
That means that you, Mahit, you're part and parcel of Krishna, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but your body is not part and parcel of Krishna.
Ah, okay. The body is not part and parcel of Krishna. Okay.
But Prabhu, the soul is carrying the body, right? So body, I mean,
The
soul
soul-
is everything. No?
The soul
Because the
is
soul, we are doing everything.
independent of the body.
Can you say that again? You got cut off.
Please
The soul
repeat it
is-
again, please. Yeah. Soul is Haribol.
No,
Yeah.
Prabhu, repeat what you said.
Oh, I should repeat. Oh,
Please
Sorry.
repeat, please. Please
the
repeat.
soul is independent of the body.
Prabhu. Soul is independent.
There's no relationship. If you became self-realized, meaning that you
Yeah.
understand that you're part and parcel of Krishna and accept and become on the same plane and platform as Lord Krishna, which is your natural position, then if you do that, then there's no question of identifying with the body. Identifying with the body is just because of Maya, illusion. I think
Exactly.
I'm my body because I see the body like a gorilla that wants to find a female gorilla and make baby gorillas.
Very good.
Yeah. But if you were a mouse, you'd be a mouse and you'd be identifying as a mouse. Your jiva would be identifying as a mouse, looking for a female mice to have baby mice.
So this means
It's that
so Prabhu,
simple. And it's really
this
that
means
gross. If you ask
our
me,
mind is strong, right?
Mohit Prabhu, Mohit Prabhu, go ahead. What are you going to say?
This means Prabhu, you're saying that our mind is being cheated every day, right? But the soul is in the, where we chant, the soul reaches in the Golok Dham, but our mind is cheating us, right? So how can we separate a soul and mind, right?
cheating
The
on
mind
soul,
is cheating. That's why we want babies, right? This is what you say.
it is we who
Yeah.
are cheating ourselves.
Sorry, please repeat again. Prabhu, your
Can the mind-
voice got crackled. Yeah.
If you're the soul, how can the mind cheat you?
If you're the soul,
Recording in progress.
if you're the soul, how can the mind cheat you? Well, the mind can cheat you only when you identify with the material body.
Yeah. So
If I say I am this body, then
That's-
I'm being cheated.
it begins.
Yes.
And then because you identify with your body, then you can be cheated by your mind or cheat your mind or both at the same time. Well, that's just a dirty deal that is created between the jiva and the body, imagining the body to be the self. But if you can let go of the idea that the body is even remotely yourself, aham brahmasmi means not that I am my body, aham brahmasmi means I am spirit soul.
Chai, these concepts, we were discussing is.
These are not concepts.
I'm not concept. What would you call this? These truths. Siddhanta. Reality, yes. Siddhanta.
Reality.
Yeah, reality.
Based reality.
Yeah.
Concept is what the mind has when it identifies with the body.
Concept is okay.
Like Immanuel Kant, like Socrates, like Plato. I think, therefore I am. Okay. You're in Maya. Obviously, if you say, I think, therefore I am, you're in Maya. But there's a grain of truth. Because what is the power of thinking? It comes from the jiva.
Yeah.
And what is the jiva? The jiva is who I am. So when I say, I think, therefore I am, it's a backwards way of identifying with the soul. But it's so clumsy.
Yeah, it's not very precise.
It would be a little more to the point. I am, therefore I think.
I am, therefore I think, yes.
They get it backwards because they're identifying with their body. They're
Right.
coming with the body. They were born with it. They enjoyed it. They're drinking wine and whiskey with it. They're watching the paintings on the walls. They're seeing the crystal on the dining table. Some hams and pigs and chickens and turkeys and whatnot on the table. And he's saying, I think, therefore I am. And everybody at the table wipes the grease off their lips with a napkin and applauds. That's how absurd that statement actually is from a person who's known for having said that as one of the greatest philosophers that has ever lived.
Not so intelligent, right?
Well, on this Istagosthi program, each one of us is more intelligent than Immanuel Kant. Not one of us should be stupid enough to say, I think, therefore I am.
Right.
You could say the fact that I'm able to think gives me an indirect indication that the thinker is my real self.
So
But when he says I am, he's talking about his body.
So that brings up a question here now. When a person becomes fully self-realized, meaning that he attains his spiritual body, he has no other material desires, even though he might be in this body or in that body or any body.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
No, you tell me. I'm asking a question.
It's taken from me. It's pleasurable.
Uh-huh.
So what is it to your question?
My question
No, he
is,
can-
Mohit Prabhu, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhu. He can have desires to serve the Lord Krishna, right? Then also he's called a realized soul, right?
Well,
Desires can be kept in material life, right?
whether
If
you
it's
desire
serving
to,
Krishna.
whether you desire to serve Krishna or do not desire to serve Krishna, you're still part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is still the supreme source of life. So you don't have to desire to serve Krishna. What you need to do is to desire to find out of whom you are part and parcel.
So Narayan Prabhu, what's the real meaning according to you is for a realized soul? What's the real meaning of for you? What's
It means you know that you're part and parcel of Krishna, not that you are part and parcel of the body that you happen to be currently inhabiting.
Yeah.
So,
Whoever
That's it, yeah.
thinks the body he's in, and it's very hard to escape from that. Whoever thinks he's in this material body is fooling himself. And no matter how many verses he learns, no matter how many japas he chants, these are all purificatory practices. But at the same time, until you understand that I am not this body, then you're not going to get much realization out of all of these practices. But you will become systematically purified because the Kanista Adhikari platform, taking prasadam, worshiping the deity, listening to class, falling asleep on the bogus guru speaking.
hey, we can't use the word bogus guru. You told me, and you're using it now.
Okay. Where the
You-
GBC appointed Kanista Adhikari
it's getting too long now. Bogus sounds good.
where the ISKCON appointee who says he's only a guru as long as he's appointed by the GBC, by ISKCON. Okay, when that person, those things don't matter. What matters is that by practicing Krishna consciousness, worshiping the deity, following the four regulative principles, and chanting your rounds and reading Prabhupada's books, for God's sake, read Prabhupada's books until you understand them. When you understand them and not have used them, figured out enough things, you read enough things to be able to defeat somebody else into convincing them that you're their guru, that's not the point of reading Prabhupada's book. Reading Prabhupada's books is so you understand Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī, that God exists. Introduction to Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī, that the Bhagavad Gita, introduction to Bhagavad Gita is the only scripture that announces that the text is going to be read by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita is a conversation in which all the processes of becoming God conscious are developed. When you develop a keen desire, Krishna can't just be a chariot driver. What is he otherwise? Then you find out he's a baby suckling from the breast of Mother Yasoda. That's who he is. That's first canto. Then you keep going up until 10th canto. He's dancing with gopis. And then after that, you say, now I know who Krishna is, Bhagavad Gita. Now I know what he does, Srimad Bhagavatam. But now I want to know how to worship him. That's the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Well, I mean, that's a very high realization going to that place. I'm still identified with the body.
Wrote these things for only geniuses. He wrote this for everybody. Anyone can read these books.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anyone can read it, but that realization to enter into Chaitanya Charitamrita, it'll take some time, I guess.
It'll take some time. And if he has trouble, he reads all the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is huge. Then if he doesn't have a complete realization, he picks it up and reads it all again. And then the third, fourth, fifth times, finally he says, why am I reading this so many times? Krishna's Supreme Personality of Godhead, I am his eternal servant. Let me bow down at his lotus feet. And then all of Prabhupada's books stand up there, mopping their brows with handkerchiefs and teetering around on their legs, saying, finally, you got it.
Jai.
You wanted to worship Krishna. Now you understand what all these books are for, so you can enter into your rasa with Krishna. Whew! Now, where's candidate number 2? Let him start.
So self-realization does not mean that you have realized your swarupa or your eternal relationship with Krishna. It's just a basic preliminary understanding that I am a spirit soul. Is that it?
Well, you understand from Chaitanya Charitamrita, when you read the Bhagavatam or the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you practically speaking have become a liberated soul simply by reading those words. It's as though you were in Krishna Loka. It's as though you're in the association of Lord Chaitanya. But you want to be in your rasa with Krishna, not the one you were in when you fell down, because you probably fall down again because of the one you were in. Develop another rasa with Krishna through the Madhyamadikari platform. Lord Paramatma, who helped you eat rotten flesh when you were a maggot, will help you develop pure unalloyed love of God, way beyond the deity worship in the ISKCON temple.
Joy.
You'll do it.
So
Go ahead, Mohit Prabhu. We're gonna stop
last
here.
question.
Yes,
Last
go
question.
ahead.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Question.
Sorry,
Go
to
ahead.
interrupt you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Prabhu, when we say that we are a realized soul, right? Realized soul. So, can we say this? A realized soul is desireless because he's been with Krishna. His soul is with Krishna. Krishna knows that he has
Who's
realized me totally.
Wait,
So
who's
we can be called desireless, right? We are desireless in this material world. Then.
soul? Who are you talking about?
He's talking about a self-realized soul. He's talking about a self-realized soul. Is he a desireless person?
Soul.
Because he's realized everything, no?
The soul.
How can he desire anything else, right?
The third party. You can't refer to the soul in the third person. I am the soul. I have a body. Aham Brahmasmi means I don't have a soul. Aham Brahmasmi means I am the soul. So go ahead. I wanted to hear what you were saying, but I couldn't quite understand it when you said having a soul.
I think Ramachandra Prabhu got me. Prabhu, I was saying this, when there's a realized soul, right, it's desireless because he has got all his desires related to Krishna. Krishna knows that. So he is a desireless person. This is what my statement was.
Who is
so realized soul is a desireless person.
The soul is.
He's saying that a realized person, he's desireless because all his desires are Krishna conscious desires.
Well, then he wouldn't be a realized person at all. He'd be a realized soul.
Is that the question, Mohit Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu. You got me. He can't have any desires because he's already into Krishna consciousness.
And when they go to ISKCON, they want a guru in a body. They think you have to have an embodied person to be your guru. Why? If you want to be guru, you have guru, that's Prabhupada. He will teach you everything in his writing, in his speaking, chanting.
Right.
So we don't have soul. I'm sorry, Prabhupada, I don't mean to offend you.
No, there's no offense here. We're trying to get a clear understanding about this.
Yeah, but we want to get there step by step.
Yes. So Mohit Prabhu, let's ask the question again.
Prabhu, you can repeat it again. My question was just a simple question that a realized soul is simply a desireless person. Why? Because he's already into Krishna consciousness totally. So what is then left? The realized meaning is that only, no? That what is now left in this material world. So we can't...
the person in his body or beyond the body?
Beyond the body, because he's a realized soul. No, it's beyond body consciousness.
Yeah. So you don't need to say self-realized person, because person tends to imply somebody you can talk to and shake hands with or offer obeisances to.
Prabhu, the key difference which you're saying this, please don't say realized body, it's a realized soul, right?
The soul doesn't need a body.
Yeah.
Aham Brahmasmi means I am the soul, not the body. Purified or not. If my body's very, very, very pure, like Maharaj Pariksit, Rishabdev, whose stool was so amazing that when he rolled around in his own stool, it smelled like roses. We're not, that's not where we're headed.
That's not where we're headed.
No.
So as long as we have a body, we will have desires.
Point to be noted. Yeah. No,
Is that correct?
What do you mean you have desires? The body has desires?
As long as we have a body, we are going to desire something or other.
Well,
As long as you identify with the body.
are
That's,
you hearing when you have a body, you want to eat, you want to sleep, you
Those are
want to
desires.
you have desires for various material things. Is that right?
no, he's saying that as long as you have this material body, you will have desires.
What does
Good or
that mean?
bad?
What does that mean?
Mahaprabhu, can you refine your question? What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to reiterate what Mohit is saying, that as if we are self-realized, then we have no desires. If we are completely with Krishna, we have no desires. But being that we have a body, and being that we're on earth, and we have this mind that's been brainwashed from so many different sources, we are going to have desires.
Well, if
Desires to eat, desires to make love, desires to do whatever.
Why do you need desires? Because you have a body.
Because the body operates from the pleasure principle.
That's only when you identify with it.
So we need not to identify with the body.
Exactly.
So when we don't identify with the body, we don't have desires.
Correct. No material desires.
Okay.
Don't
Guess
need
we're
it.
getting.
Now, it's sort of thing about if I have a material body and I'm a self-realized soul in that body, but I'm still in that material body, how will I eat if I don't desire a hot dog or a hamburger? How will I eat if I don't desire certain things to eat? And you don't have to worry about it because it operates by the three modes of nature.
Mm-hmm.
And the body, the three modes of nature will, the body, just like you don't have to tell a plant what to feed it. You put fertilizer and water, it grows. So you feed the body gets fed according to the nature of the body, not according to your desire. If you're desiring, then you're not a liberated soul. If you want to be a liberated soul, you have to be free from all desire for anything for your body or mind. The mind and the soul stick together. And when it's time to eat, okay, let me just explain one thing to make it easier to accept what to speak of, understand. If you want to eat something, you think your body is telling you to eat it, right?
Right.
Is that right?
Right.
Do you know who's really telling you to eat it?
The soul.
No.
The mind.
The mind.
No. Paramatma.
Oh, wrong answer.
The mind is
In
the mind
heart
is dangerous.
Will take
Very
care,
dangerous. Very dangerous.
care of the body.
Haribol.
In the Paramatma, in the jiva, in the heart, next to the jiva, will, as he has since time immemorial, arrange for you to get your proper food for the body. And to arrange how you will take your bath. He will arrange how to comb your hair. He'll arrange all of that stuff without you being involved.
Joy.
That's called surrender to Krishna. If you surrender to Paramatma, say, Prabhupada, he said, make me dance like a puppet. Okay. If my body is a puppet in the hands of Paramatma, why are we concerned with what I'm going to want or I'm going to desire, simply because this is my body. Well, when you surrender yourself to Krishna, it's no longer your body. The body belongs to Paramatma. You are then in the heart, and you're being directed by Paramatma what to do and say as a jiva, not as a body.
Wow. Jai.
And then the mind comes in and disrupts everything.
No, the body comes in and Paramatma handles the situation. Just as he has since for an ant. The same Paramatma has been in your heart since you were an insect. Now you've come up to the human form, right? You are
Okay.
you're not eternally a human being. Maybe you were a dog. The real trick is don't become a dog. Because if you become a dog, you'll be completely satisfied, but you won't remember having been a human. If you become a dog, you'll be running around on all fours, lapping at things and sniffing and peeing on trees. And you'll be doing all of those things quite satisfied because Paramatma will be identifying, the mind will be identifying with the dog body, just like it's identifying now with your body. So the idea is to make use of this body and not take on a dog body.
So my thing is, now we belong, well, we're not we, the philosophy, Krishna conscious philosophy, if you look at it from that angle, the whole ISKCON system is totally off the rails, right?
Not entirely off the rails,
But
because we're talking about the liberated soul. And
Huh?
what happens when the liberated soul needs to eat? Paramatma arranges for the food. Just like Paramatma arranges for every bird to get every grain of wheat separately. Prabhupada said you throw the grain out for the pigeons in the park. And the park pigeons go, they're all running around like crazy. You've seen it. They run around like crazy, grabbing at the grains. And people say, oh, they're like people. They're chatting, having a nice, sweet conversation over lunch. And Prabhupada said, no, they're not. They have nothing to say to each other. In fact, when one is chirping, it's because Paramatma showed him where the grain is. When Paramatma shows that bird where the grain is, all the other birds want to come and take it away.
well, maybe I
For that bird.
maybe
So
I can refine it. They're having a body. Back to the ISKCON experience is that people are having a more refined body conscious experience.
They're supposed to.
They're supposed to. Okay.
They're
Okay.
kanistha adhikaris.
Mm-hmm.
A kanistha adhikari is a person in the bodily consciousness. He remains there until he desires to regain his swarup relationship with Krishna, his rasa with Krishna.
But all they say is, all I have to do is chant Hare Krishna and everything will be revealed. I mean, today.
Well, sure. Well,
Is that sufficient? That sounds like a body conscious answer. All I have to do is chant Hare Krishna, do my rounds, 16 rounds, eat prasadam, don't offend anyone, don't talk about this person, that person. And then
great. That's nice. I don't see any flaw. But for how long?
What do you mean how long? I have to do that until that is revealed to me.
And how long will that be?
How long will it be?
Yeah.
It may take some time.
It may, but thank you. But taking some time means hours, weeks, years. How long? What, lifetimes?
So here's what I'm getting to. I'm saying that the refined body conscious experience that you get in ISKCON means that
that's a kanistha adhikari platform.
Yeah.
The miracle of Prabhupada created to take.
No, but how can you say it's a kanistha adhikari experience when I'm chanting Hare Krishna? That's not a kanistha adhikari experience.
What is it?
I'm chanting Hare Krishna. How can you say that it's a kanistha adhikari experience?
One of the principles of kanistha adhikari training.
Well,
You chant 16 rounds, that's iṣṭa-goṣṭhī. You do kirtan, that's iṣṭa-goṣṭhī. You take prasadam, iṣṭa-goṣṭhī. Follow the 4 regulations, iṣṭa-goṣṭhī. You worship the deity, iṣṭa-goṣṭhī. You go out on Sankirtan, iṣṭa-goṣṭhī. Do you know what iṣṭa-goṣṭhī means?
Following the rules and regulations.
Identifying with your body and purifying the body that you're identifying with. When you
So-
go beyond identification of the body, you begin to approach Madhyamadikari.
So Madhyamadikari also does the same activities, no? It's just the consciousness has changed.
Not necessarily. Madhyamadikari is a loose cannon. He does whatever he does.
He does
may-
whatever he does.
He acting like a good iṣṭa-goṣṭhī, or he may be acting like a crazy guy out in the woods, or he may be acting like that guy sitting under a tree that burned his finger from the sweet rice.
Hmm.
I mean, did the guy burning his finger with the sweet rice look as though he had been doing the same old iṣṭa-goṣṭhī stuff? Didn't, did it?
That's a good question. What was his activities? Was he chanting Hare Krishna? Was he an associate of Lord Krishna? I don't know. But that pastime incident, he was offering that sweet rice.
Imaginary sweet rice
Yeah, imaginary sweet rice.
to an imaginary deity in an imaginary temple, in an imaginary temple building, in
Yes.
an imaginary palace, in an imaginary kingdom.
Yeah. He sought the whole thing.
Imaginary.
Hmm?
It was imaginary.
Yeah, it was. But the result was there. People, I guess you can say he was crazy. Someone might say he was crazy, or someone who sees that, oh, he's just a crazy person.
He's a holy man.
Or he's a
So-
holy man, yes.
Throw him a few paisa.
Yeah, yeah. So these things are kind of complex to. It's hard to understand,
No, they're very simple.
It is.
There's no complexity. There's
Then,
complexity.
if it's simple, then why can these ISKCON the devotees they understand the position of Srila Prabhupada? Why is it so hard for them to understand that the body conscious mentality of the gurus and this is totally off the.
iṣṭa-goṣṭhī.
But you're saying it's very easy to understand Madhyamadikari. So why they can't understand these things?
They never even heard of it.
What?
They have never heard of Madhyamadikari.
I asked this question to this devotee. He invited me for prasadam today. I said, where else have you heard about Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttamadikari? He said, from you, because you're a crazy person. From me.
There you go. So
There you
only
go.
a person dares to speak the truth.
Yeah. So I was like, I mean, come on, these things are there in Prabhupada's books. Why isn't nobody talking about these things?
Because
They
it's not
would-
politically correct. The way they have things narrowed down, it's not politically correct to question the Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttamadikari. It's not politically correct to say the GBC should be elected. It's not politically correct to say the Madhyamadikari won't do a damn bit of good at the time of death as a guru.
Jai. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
take a disciple of Madhyamadikari or a Kanishta-adhikari, at the time of death, at the time of his death, you're still linked with him. At the time of your death, you go to wherever he went. And if it's like Tamal or like Kirtanananda, can you imagine how many thousands of people are going to end up with Kirtanananda because they worshipped him as a pure devotee?
But then that concept of the unknown comes into it. You remember we used that example of they were worshiping the basil plant, but they were actually worshiping Srila Prabhupada. So can that be their saving grace?
Benefit.
What?
But Guru says, Vovitra Bhavitrava, he performs a fire sacrifice. He accepts the karma.
Right.
It's no longer a fanciful thing. He accepts the karma.
Right. He accepts the karma, but
And that means he accepts the jiva
okay.
of his disciple. Whoever he initiates, he accepts that jiva as his
Attachment.
responsibility.
Okay. Okay. Attachment. Yes. Responsibility. Yes. Attachment to him.
In other words, he could have performed the initiation as a priest,
Yes.
as a representative of the Acharya. He could have done that.
Haribol. Yes.
And Prabhupada would have taken that disciple's karma back to Krishna Loka. But how can this Bhakti Charu take anyone's karma back to Krishna Loka when he says he's just an agent for an organization?
His agent. He's an agent. Right. That was very clear.
He takes on the karma and he can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
How does he get rid of the karma?
This is, yeah.
I think I give it to Prabhupada. Well, did you? Or did you just accept that person as your disciple?
That's the thing.
When you perform this ceremony, did you say to Krishna and Srila Prabhupada under your breath, they think they're being initiated by me, but actually they're being initiated by Prabhupada and Krishna. So please don't mind when I say you're my disciple. I'm just kidding. I'm lying, actually.
But that is cheating, though, right? How can you do that without telling the disciple that? Can someone do that? Actually, I mean, if Vaisheshika is thinking that,
look at the case of Bhagavan. He told Chidananda asked him, okay, now I'm doing all the service. You're my spiritual master. I worship you. I love you. You're wonderful. You're exemplary. Everything you do is perfect. You have a golden toilet seat. What more need I say? You have a golden butt that you put on it. So the thing is that he actually had a golden toilet seat.
Yes, we know that. Right.
Yeah, we know. So you say, so how do I go back to Godhead? So Bhagavan said like this. Where's my hand? Oh, I will take you back to Godhead. Then a year or two later, he leaves the movement, runs off with somebody's wife who has 8 children already. So how is he going to take him back to Godhead when he can't even take himself back to Godhead? Nor can he surrender to Prabhupada, so Prabhupada will take him back to Godhead.
Hare Krishna. Jai.
And do you know why he movement and left the role of guru?
What did you say, Narayan Prabhu?
Why did he leave the role of guru?
Why did he leave the role of the guru?
Yeah.
Because what can you say? He was not qualified, nor was he authorized, nor.
That's not qualified. That's not the point, really. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude. Why did he give up guru? Because he was taking on the karma of too many people. They were burdening him with their sins. When you give an initiation to someone, you take on all of the sins that they have ever committed in this and previous lifetimes. Otherwise, what's the point of this initiation?
Yes.
Even the Catholics say, now you're going to be sinless because you've accepted Jesus or something. You've accepted the church or the Pope. You accept the person baptizing, in this case initiating, Agnihotra, accepts the sins of the disciple. So even Bhagavan, that had lots and lots and lots of good karma, at some point he runs out of space. And you take someone like Jayapataka, who initiated, fortunately, bunches of Bengalis who live simple lives. The worst things they do is listen to transistor radios, rock and roll. But he initiated 40,000. I mean, you might expect a guy like that would have an aneurysm and end up with a wire in his mouth. I mean, but not Jayapataka, right? He didn't have an aneurysm, did he? Oh, yeah, 3. And what about the wire in his mouth? That's all caused by taking on too many unqualified disciples without being qualified to initiate them yourself. Anyone can initiate people. I mean, this, that guy, Manson, you know, the guy that murdered all those people, he didn't murder a single soul. But he spent life, he died in prison. Why? because he gave the order, and he took on the karma of murdering all those people.
Mhm.
They believed him, saying, "Go kill them.
Ah,
On my orders shalt thou kill."
acha.
Therefore, Charles Manson ends up with not all the karma, but
A lot.
only 2/3 of the karma, or 3/4 of the karma
Yeah,
of
yeah.
everyone that was killed.
Right. Joy.
They were stupid and foolish to
Mhm.
listen to an ordinary human being that was not an Uttama Adhikari give the order to kill.
Did Srila
But he
Prabhupada
is the one who gave the order.
did Srila Prabhupada take on the sins of others?
He took on the sins of everyone that he met.
And he's still taking it.
He's
Yes.
still taking it.
Yes.
Hare
Are you,
Krishna.
is Prabhupada going to suffer as a result of that?
No.
What?
Prabhupada doesn't suffer. He's a transparent via medium.
I'm asking the Prabhu who said it.
I'm saying it. Prabhupada does not suffer because he's a transparent via medium.
I was wanted him to say.
Oh. Jesus
What type
doesn't.
What type of medium Ramachandra Singh does?
He's transparent via medium, just like Jesus Christ. He transfers.
More than Christ.
Huh?
More so than Jesus Christ.
More so than Jesus Christ. Jai.
Oh,
Oh
Jesus
boy.
a minor, he's not even a true Saktavesh avatar, or he would have been mentioned in the list of avatars, Dasa avatars.
Ah, that's a good question. Yeah. He's not mentioned in any of
But
the.
plenty of people like that. There's Muhammad, there's Baha'u'llah, there's all of these, Guru Nanak, there's all these people that appeared as quasi avatars.
Quasi, what does that mean?
Quasi means
Sort of.
partly,
Partly, okay.
semi,
Um,
not actual, but semi avatars.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, this here, what we're discussing here, Prabhupada's position for the next 10,000 years, I've noticed a lot of people are belittling Prabhupada's position. Like we are discussing here, he's more than Jesus Christ in giving spirituality, love of God, and the Siddhanta. He's much greater than any person that has ever walked this earth, or I mean, saying, you know,
Yes, exactly.
and we're belittling him.
We cannot, no, don't say we.
I mean, they are belittling him. They, or we,
Yeah. We don't belong to a group.
yes,
Individuals.
individuals, yes, the individuals.
The individual is an individual jiva.
Yeah, the individual
It's
jivas.
composed of jivas that are individuals.
Yes, the individual.
Let's say we in Istagosthi.
Yeah, the individuals. Yes,
Huh?
the individuals are belittling his supremely wonderful position.
Sure, because they want to reduce him down to their level.
Yeah.
They want to be gurus, so they want to reduce him down till he doesn't look any better than they do.
Yeah.
Stupid move for the time of death.
Yeah. Very, very
Imagine these guys on the time of death. Imagine. But anyhow, I'm pointing out that if you're not qualified to be guru, you have to take the sins of the people you initiated. Now, the question was raised, didn't Prabhupada accept the sins? Yes, but he came as a Shaktavesh avatar. Prabhupada came to deliver the fallen souls from Krishna Loka for Krishna. So when Prabhupada accepted the sins of disciples, it was the sins are passed up through the Sampradaya up to Lord Balaram and from Baladev to Krishna and are purified. What is sin in Krishna Loka? It doesn't even exist. By the time it gets into the Sampradaya, it's being burned up by the great acharyas. So will great acharyas burn up the sins of some guy that's pretending to be on Prabhupada's level, but is no connection and falls down? Why would Krishna acknowledge somebody who falls down as being a transparent via medium?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Okay.
Krishna.
This
Right.
is the wrong fact.
Hmm.
See, Krishna consciousness is not subject to time and place. Krishna consciousness, the way Prabhupada presented it, is good for 10,000 years. You don't have to edit, you don't have to change, you don't have to interpret, you don't have to modify or rewrite stuff, or rewrite Prabhupada's lectures, or rewrite Prabhupada's kirtans, or rewrite anything. As it is.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, Prabhupada says in his last will that the GBC can be replaced provided they are his disciples. Meaning that the GBCs, if they fall down or they die, they can be replaced, but they should be his disciples. I'm sure you guys know that.
Mar,
Huh?
there aren't going to be any.
What do you
They're
mean?
done of old age.
Yeah. So Prabhupada had a system set up that ISKCON will continue and Prabhupada will be the guru, the Acharya, the spiritual master, Diksha Guru.
Yeah, but
That-
the GBC was illicit anyhow.
What, can you say that again? What did you?
Elected every 3 years by the temple president.
Yeah. Yes.
So he made a concession, not in writing, did he?
No, that was in writing. No, I'll pull it up on the screen.
What is the writing?
Huh?
This is Prabhupada's will. He says that the GBC can be changed provided that the new GBC is his duly initiated disciple.
Okay, but do you think that Prabhupada agreed to that statement?
Well, it's like the Ritvik say that it's an order for Ritvik initiation.
Haribol, show the document, please. Haribol, please, the document. Ramchandra,
Rupamandra,
Yes.
you yourself stated that the Ritvik initiation could only exist when Prabhupada was still alive, or not.
That was the July 9th letter that I said that about.
Yeah, well, that's the Ritvik statement, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, but this is Prabhupada's will.
Yes, but if you look at the will, it is one thing is very clear if you know anything about legal language, or have Ronald Tim read it. It's composed, it was patched together by disciples and rubber stamped by Prabhupada. I would not pay too much attention to it. Because what is the point of his will? He taught everything from day one. What is there to put in a will? I would say the will doesn't count.
Okay, here he wanted to see the what is the Mohit Prabhu wanted to see the document, so I'm presenting the document here.
thank you. I need to have the screenshot of this. Just one sec, Prabhu, please.
Okay.
So what do you got? We were in the middle of discussing the nature of the soul, and how did we get into this?
Oh, we're talking about initiations in the future and how and how ISKCON can continue being Prabhupada in the center, not ISKCON fifth generation guru. Now Bhakti Charu has died. He appointed some successor. Now he's going to initiate like Bhakti Charu.
He was a successor when he said he only operates because he was appointed by ISKCON.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that, you know, people are
He said it's only appointed by ISKCON. So if that's the truth, he can't appoint a successor.
yeah, but the so-called ISKCON, they can appoint successors.
Well, that's different than him appointing it.
Yes. So
So he said he did, but I don't see that he could have.
yeah, he's saying that in that instance, he's working for ISKCON, and then if ISKCON tells him stop initiating and get lost, he will have to get lost.
Yeah, which he was being quite accurate.
Yes. So,
If he said the GBCs should be elected, they will say, get lost.
so I want to see Narayana Prabhu. So we're in this document. So I'd like to read it and then cover some base with this document. All right? Can we?
I think that before we take the document too seriously, his
Yes.
will, that first of all, why would he make a will when everything he had taught was already out in the open? There's no point in making a will. And I think that making the will was very much like making the July 9th letter damage control.
So
But I don't think the will has any substance in and of itself. Do you see any value to the will that we can use?
well, the will what's that word? What's that word?
Read the will a number of times. and I
Yeah,
know different people put in chunks.
yeah. So
It was not written by Prabhupada.
yes, it was not written by Prabhupada. Yes, yes. It was signed by Tamal Krishna, I guess, right?
No doubt.
I mean, Prabhupada signed on it, but who wrote it? It was not a direct writing.
By one person.
Yeah,
They legal books and they took chunks out practically verbatim because I happen to know quite a bit, some, not quite a bit, but a certain amount of legalese, legal language. And they would put pieces together that were not related.
so
Someday we could sit down together and look at it together. I could point out to you how it's patched together. They
But-
wanted a will, and there's no indication that Prabhupada wanted a will.
okay, he has no okay. You say that he had no okay. So but he did sign something, and this document here, it
Well,
seems.
he signed the July 9th letter also.
Yeah, yeah. So the point
Okay.
here,
The main signature is Prabhupada's signature the main signature on the will?
let's see. It's saying, Rupert, does this look like Prabhupada's signature? I guess. Right
Yes,
here.
yes.
That's the only signature we have.
There's only
On-
one signature on the will?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So, but anyways, this is the point that I wanted to read out. So,
Okay, let's get it out.
okay, the executive directors who have herein been designated are appointed for life. In the event of the death or failure to act for any reason of any of the said directors, a successor director or directors may be appointed by the remaining directors, provided the new director is my initiated disciple, following strictly all the rules and regulations of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness as detailed in my books, and provided that they are never less than 3 or more than 5 executive directors. What is it?
Acting.
Acting at one time.
Okay.
So
Executive directors. I was waiting for you to read GBC.
yeah, Prabhupada is using executive directors here. The
Okay, so
word.
he's referring to GBC.
Well, active directors could mean here, in this context, that
Could be.
they
Executive director could mean
Here-
a little lamb. I mean,
no, here, I'm talking about this here. Here, Prabhupada is saying executive directors meaning properties, not GBC. He's saying properties.
Yeah, it means people that are in charge of properties.
Yes, that's why he's
You and
using.
GBC.
He's not talking about GBC. He's talking about executive directors.
Yeah, so it means nothing to us.
Yeah, but here it's saying that what is it? Executive directors must be his disciples.
So what?
So that means what?
Don't you imagine they'll run out of them?
Yeah, obviously they'll run out. Jayapataka will be dead. Gaur Govinda is dead. Who else is dead? Sridhar Swami is dead. If Bali Madan is no longer here,
Kamal is dead.
Kamal is dead.
Okay. So who replaced them?
No, I'm saying in the future, in 100 years, these people won't be here. So the executive directors must be Prabhupada's disciples, meaning what?
Okay. So what we can argue, or what you're arguing perhaps, is without a Ritvic system, you cannot have any further executive directors.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah, but in another sense, since they don't accept the Ritvic situation,
yes, they are no Prabhupada.
modify the requirement.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. So that's a direct violation of what the Acharya has said and how he wants things done.
I would throw the whole will out the window, frankly.
Hmm.
We should start with the beginning, which is the direction of management, and not end up on the tail here. This is like all those people clinging to the outside of the body of airplanes taking.
No,
off.
but in the direction of management, all the disciples are also Srila Prabhupada's disciples. So what is the difference? Executive directors and GBC. What's the difference? The executive directors are Prabhupada disciples. The GBC are Prabhupada disciples. The elected GBC are Prabhupada disciples.
The direction of management,
Yeah, direction of management.
it's stated in the direction of management that the GBC is Prabhupada disciples.
Oh, no, it doesn't say that though. Right. It doesn't say that.
Let's be
Yeah,
straight with ourselves.
yeah. Yeah. Right.
The GBC is representing the temple presidents.
And the temple presidents are Prabhupada disciples, no?
Presumably.
Presumably. Now it kind of,
The point is that whether they're Prabhupada disciples directly or not directly, they are in charge of an ISKCON temple. Even
Yeah.
if that ISKCON temple is a one-bedroom flat in a high-rise. Whatever that place is with a cardboard box with a picture of Krishna on it and something cooked in the kitchen that's offered to the deity, picture of the deity, that's an ISKCON temple if he's registered himself as an ISKCON temple. And if you want to know who can open an ISKCON temple, then we have to look at the founding document of ISKCON.
All right.
Presumably, a person who opens a temple should be a Prabhupada disciple. We have to argue in the big picture that only Prabhupada disciples can belong to ISKCON.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yes.
So you're saying, no, we're saying a lot of things, but
I'm saying that if an ISKCON temple has to be opened, it should be Prabhupada, Acharya system on behalf of the Acharya. What's that word? Officiating Acharya or Ritvik or whatever you want to call it. That Ritvik or.
yeah, but that's it. Rupa Manjari knows it. So
What?
Rupa Manjari knows the title.
Yeah, officiating Acharya.
Officiating Acharya. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so officiating a chart. But the whole point is that we need to check with the founding document of ISKCON, what does it take to create an ISKCON temple? Does a person have to be initiated by Prabhupada to have a ISKCON temple? It never crossed my mind. I assumed it was, but it would be interesting that an uninitiated person can open a temple. A person with no initiation can and did in the past. As long as they're following the program the Prabhupada created, which actually makes them a disciple of Prabhupada.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If anyone falls.
Anyone who becomes a Kanishta Adhikari is automatically a disciple of Prabhupada
Jai.
because he created it.
Hare Krishna. All right.
Does that make
I think,
sense?
yeah, I think that's another discussion that we can have. I kind of branched off from the guru thing to the final.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you went to the will, which is interesting. We determined that they were not talking about GBCs.
Yes. They were talking about property ownership. Yes.
Essentially corporate executors,
Yes. Executors. Yes.
which means nothing theologically.
Yeah, just a position to protect Prabhupada's assets.
To do that.
Yes.
But they said it has to be Prabhupada disciple.
Yes. Prabhupada disciple. Exactly.
Yeah, and that determines what is a Prabhupada disciple. Somebody initiated by Prabhupada in his span of time on earth, or someone initiated by the process of a priest in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. They have no solid understanding of what makes a person a Prabhupada disciple.
But do we have?
We do.
Which is?
We know that a Prabhupada disciple is someone who's accepted Prabhupada as their spiritual master, just as much as I did. And you have. We accept Prabhupada as spiritual master. Whether there's a fire sacrifice or not is secondary. But if you're going to be a temple president, obviously there should be a fire sacrifice. And you should be able to perform fire sacrifices for others to become Kanistha Adhikaris within that temple structure. It's not very difficult. It's very simple, in fact. It's convivial.
Right.
It's not complicated, and it's definitely not a big churchy type of thing, not big theology. It's very simple. Get an appointment, put up a picture of Krishna, invite people in. If you're initiated by Prabhupada or initiated by someone who initiated you as a Prabhupada disciple in a temple, then you can initiate them.
Try.
But you take on some of the karma of whoever you initiate.
If you do, then good luck, buddy.
No, so takes on karma.
No, I'm saying if this person has some subtle desire that I'm initiating, but they're really my disciples, then they're finished.
Well,
gone case, gone.
Gone case?
It's a complicated thing to say. Now, we get back to you. You had your question. Ask your question now so we can answer it properly.
Whose question? My question? I've asked so many questions. It's someone else's turn.
It's someone else's question.
Anyways, I can ask my question then if no one's going to ask any question.
Please, Haribol, go ahead.
Okay. So remember we were talking about the three modes of material nature, how it's acting and forcing the body to act and all that, right? The planet.
You texted it. You texted in the group, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm asking a question here. Can I use the argument that the three modes of material nature is forcing me to do things in a court of law? Because, from the philosophical understanding, the soul is separate from the body, and then, we're being forced according to the modes of material nature. Now, can we say that, the three modes of material nature made me do this? Inadvertent foot gesture.
No, the three modes of material nature made you do it because you identified with the body. If you don't identify with your body, the body will not do anything in a court of law that would be reprehensible.
Okay, that's very clear.
Look, I mean, when you met Prabhupada, did you say that he did anything that could have been prosecuted in a court of law?
What did you say?
Prabhupada ever do that could have been prosecuted?
No.
Right?
No.
No.
Prabhu, please repeat it again. Prabhu was saying something.
But I want to finish up your question. You had a really question.
No question. Please repeat your last sentence, Prabhu, which you said.
And we did not give you a proper answer yet.
No, we're talking about my question. He's not talking about.
Well, every time I see his face, I talk to his question.
Very well. Very much, bro. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Okay, what's your question?
Nara Narayan said, did Srila Prabhupada ever do anything where he could be incriminated?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Ramachandra.
Incriminated right now with Biden president? Yes.
Haribo. Jai.
Uh-huh.
Kidding.
Prabhupada
Ramachandra Prabhu's sense of humor.
Hmm?
Transcendental sense of humor.
That's a joke, though.
Srila Prabhupada did nothing ever that was against legal, whatever the term is. He always did the right thing. Is that
Yeah.
correct, Nan? That's
I-
right.
Of course, right. Yeah.
That's
so
right.
that answer the question is that the body is not independent. When you let the body go, and you withdraw the senses from the object of the senses, and the mind and the senses are with the soul, not with the body will simply function according to the nature of the body. Now, in the case of a human body, Paramatma will guide it. And Paramatma will guide the body to eat breakfast cereal, not live rats. If the body will be guided to take a bath, not roll and stool and urine in the street. So it goes according to nature and according to the instruction of Paramatma from inside the heart, independently of the soul acting in behalf of Krishna.
So here's the distinction here now. You're saying that the body is guided by Paramatma here now.
What?
You're saying the body is guided by Paramatma.
Or three modes of material nature.
What?
But Paramatma supplies the body with what the body requires.
That is done by Paramatma, you just said, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's no conscious relationship between the body and Paramatma because the body in and of itself is not conscious.
The body is not conscious, but Paramatma is
It's
guiding the body.
Yes, just like
So
a man-
then that means that the body,
my car is not conscious, but the driver is conscious. Do you get it?
yeah, that makes sense. The car is not conscious, but the driver is conscious. Yes, that makes sense.
So when the jiva abandons, the jiva remains within the body,
Right. Let's bring
no
it
matter
there.
what it is, and Paramatma remains within the body. Therefore, there's plenty of direction capacity that doesn't involve the desire of the jiva to identify with the potential needs of the body.
That is fulfilled
The
by
body-
Paramatma itself.
Sex. If the body wants to go off and have sex, the jiva is not going to support that if he's detached from this body. So the body won't be able to go off and have sex.
Point to be noted. Yeah.
Accept the mercy of Paramatma to have food, clothes, etc., so the body will appear to be saintly.
So the eating, sleeping, mating, and defending process, if the soul is detached, that is conducted by Paramatma.
Eating, sleeping, mating, defending is conducted by the soul identifying with the body via the mind. But when the
Okay,
mind
we have
distracts
two
himself,
more. We have 2 more minutes.
10 more minutes.
Well, we started at 10 till.
I said the discussion has just started going right now. You know, we're making, you know.
Okay. When the jiva is in the body, identifying with the body, he empowers the body to do whatever the body wants, and you got that body based on the jiva's past karma in previous lives.
Okay, Paramatma is doing that. You said he, so let's make a distinction. Paramatma gives that body because
What?
you're saying, according to the previous karma, a person gets his body and it's done through the medium of Paramatma, right?
Getting the body? No.
Okay, can you repeat what you just said? Because
Well, what did you just ask?
you said that because of the previous karma, a person gets a body.
previous lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of the previous lifetime, a person gets this body or whatever body they get.
Yes.
Okay.
In other words, how do you get your body? The man's semen with the woman's egg combine through the act which we all are fortunately too well aware, called sex.
Yes.
So when that takes place, then the baby begins to nurture, embryo begins to form in the uterus, and the entity inside the embryo is already identifying with his new body, is identifying with the womb that he's in. No matter if he was a demigod, now he's being happy in a scrub woman's uterus. So all of this stuff is going on, based upon the karma of the jiva who has acted in a previous life to lose perhaps a better birth to take this one. But he doesn't know it's a worse birth. All he knows is it's me and mine. It's all about me. So that when the child is born, he identifies fully with the body that he's in. The soul, body, mind, and spirit, he's all together. But when you become a yogi or a bhakti yogi, you learn the art of separating yourself, meaning the jiva, and dragging the mind with the help of a shoe and a stick out of the body so that the body is on its own, eating whatever goodness, passion, and ignorance, meaning eat what comes from the light, eat what comes from the fire, red, or eat which comes from the darkness, blue. You see?
But that desire is carried out by Paramatma when a person is awakened.
No, it's carried out by the body's karma from the planets.
But who facilitates that? That's my question.
Various
What?
demigods, Prabhu, have been given this route. Hello. Yeah.
Say again.
Who facilitates that? The body cannot act independently. The body is not acting independently.
Planet you're born under?
What did you say?
Who facilitates what planets you're born under?
No, I'm saying who facilitates the eating? The planets don't do it.
Of course they do.
Huh?
Of course they do.
So the planets are acting through the body.
Are simply sending energy.
Okay, the planets are sending energy. And how is the body acting?
The body acts according to the karma that he got from being born under those planets.
Okay, the body is acting according to the karma of the planets.
So what's the difference between a person growing up as a vegetarian or growing up as a cannibal?
Karma.
Yeah, and how is that karma expressed?
How is the karma expressed is through what they do.
No, what they did.
What they did, yes. What they did and what they're doing.
Well, no, just what they did to begin with. What they did gave them the birth under such and such a planet.
Right.
A man may have been a very blonde king riding on a white horse. Then he gets born as a pygmy in Africa. He doesn't know that. But
he doesn't know that.
Put him there because of how he acted as a king. Because he misused his role as king, he didn't go up. So he went into a darkness place where he has become a primitive person.
So, okay. So,
May have been a very blonde.
So my question here, someone is asking something here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yes. So my question, I thought we were discussing, or maybe I thought wrong, most likely. I was thinking that the material body's desires, if one is Krishna conscious, meaning self-realized, he has no other desire than to please Krishna, but the functions of the body is carried out by the planets?
No, if the material body's desires are for the material body.
Yes.
Not for Krishna. Ever.
Not for Krishna. So who's guiding that? The planets?
Yeah.
Okay. The planets are guiding that.
So, Prabhu, one question. So these planets are being headed by some demigods, right?
like Rahu and Ketu, these are like acting on the various material issues which we have, right? Hello? Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. Please go ahead.
The body doesn't desire, first of all. It doesn't have the capacity to desire.
That's what I'm saying.
The mind has the capacity to desire when the soul empowers it to do so.
Okay.
Take the mind out of the equation by beating it with a shoe or a stick, and then the body does not desire. The body doesn't desire, the body requires. Just like a stove
Okay, requires.
requires
Yeah.
wood to burn. He doesn't. Do you think a big cast iron stove is sitting there desiring wood to chew on?
No.
No. The fire consumes wood, but it doesn't desire wood to consume. If it had a chance, it would consume all the curtains and the furniture in the house.
Yeah, it
But
consumes
would
everything.
it do it because you want the heat from the stove? So the body doesn't desire anything. It has no capacity for desire in and of itself. Right? How could it desire? It's just earth, fire, water, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. Which one of those ingredients desires? Only the jiva desires.
Yes.
So earth, fire, water doesn't desire.
Yes.
The body is made out of earth, fire, water, air, ether, etc. So because the body is made of those substances, we try to project into those substances consciousness from the soul through the mind.
Consciousness.
Yeah, the body's never conscious. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The body is never ever conscious.
Yeah, the body's dead matter because the soul is present. That's why it's functioning. The driver is present.
The soul is conscious. The body is not.
Yes.
The proof of that is go to a funeral. There will be
Right.
the body, no consciousness.
Yeah.
So what's the hard part?
The hard part is the technical understanding that I was trying to understand.
It's realism. It's realism.
Yeah.
Ultimate reality, realism.
Yeah.
So reiterate your understanding now, and let's see how it clicks.
So the body is dead just because the soul is present. The consciousness is the symptom of the soul. So the soul is present. We're having communication right now
inside the body, and the body is formed by past karma.
Yes. So now,
and is being directed by the planets. If the soul leaves the body, then the body disintegrates.
So the planets are acting, or no, the body is acting under the planets, but the soul is separate from the planets, meaning that can the soul get affected by the planets? No, because the soul is identifying with the body. That's why it's being affected by the planets.
Bingo. Yes.
Okay.
But that's obviously a blunder, right? Why identify with the body and therefore with the planets?
Yes.
I mean, a person's mind and the jiva with a mind wants to find the right psychic to help him understand their karma.
Yes.
But that's simply a material desire. It doesn't do any good. So what we need to understand is that the body will go on according to the planets. Now, in all fairness, if you look at an astrological chart, the body, each planet has an upper, middle, and lower range, like Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun.
Yes.
Planet relationship. So some people have very hellish relationships with good planets, and some people have very heavenly relationships with bad planets. Not bad planets, but rough ones like Saturn.
We have 1 more minute.
Okay.
Barely one more minute.
So yeah, we have had a very interesting discussion today, from Srila Prabhupada's dictation of Bhagavatam to questions to the bodily concept of life to the ISKCON
Oh,
initiators. And
you know what I say? We're separating the excrement from the candy.
and then we have had people watching us on and off, 7, 8 people they were watching at one time. So we'd like to extend our welcome to them. If they want to participate, please add.
Because these questions that we discussed tonight amongst relatively senior devotees, all of us on here, are the key questions to being able to have Istagosthi. How to separate yourself from the bodily interest and structure in order to ask questions from the platform of the soul, without the body saying, no, 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 I want this, I want that, you know. The minute the body says, no, 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 I want this, I want that, it means the mind is identifying with the body.
Yes.
But the minute the body just sits there, and when it's lunchtime, the Paramatma arranges for lunch.
Okay, so someone asked a question in the chat, so we'll address that and then we'll sign off. Okay.
Excellent.
Just to fulfill the desire of this this person here. She or he or whoever that is. The name is Kaushal. Okay, that's her question or his question.
Not a he or she, but a demigod or demigoddess.
Yeah, let's. Okay, so their question is Dandavat Pranam. What makes you think there is a separate intelligence that is guiding it all? First question. Dandavat Pranam, what makes you think there is a separate intelligence that is guiding it all? Let's answer that question first.
Well, they're asking, are we part and parcel of Krishna who is guiding it all?
Yes.
Krishna's guiding everything, and we're part and parcel of Krishna, but we have independence. Therefore, we're acting independently, and Krishna's facilitating us. If Krishna were not facilitating us, Paramatma would not exist. Because Krishna doesn't get involved with our crappy desires. If I want to murder somebody, Krishna's not going to get involved. Very different than the Judeo-Christian gods and Muslim gods and whatnot. No, Krishna doesn't get involved in these things. But we do. So because the jiva is just as good as Krishna himself. He's just a lot smaller. How much smaller? Infinitely smaller. But he's the same substance as Krishna, and he has the same range of desires, mostly, as Krishna. Therefore, the jiva I'm watching this guy eat.
Hey, stop eating. Unless you want to share.
It's paneer paranta.
I want some too, please.
Please, I'll surely distribute. Courier.
Damn well better vegetarian.
Speed of the mind. He already ate it.
Okay, good.
Transcendental of humor. Transcendental humor of Ramachandra Prabhu is amazing, right?
So seeing you eat is immediately my interest. So
well, let's get back to the question. Remember, Rupa Manjari is getting upset. We're going over time.
To the screen. Okay, so where were we?
The question, separate intelligence that is guiding it all. What makes you think there is a separate intelligence that is guiding it all? How else would this world work without an intelligent person guiding it all? The sun is coming out.
What?
Huh? I mean, I'm trying to answer.
Simultaneously, one is different. We're with that intelligence, and we're different from that intelligence. That is the basic theology. But if he or she picks up the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, goes online and looks for Krishna's pastimes, who is acting outside of the jiva and how the jiva acts in relationship with that person. This is what it is. She's talking about the jiva and Krishna. Or he or she, I shouldn't say she, but he or she. I'm complimenting the she because it sounds like an intelligent question. But shall we just say then that the answer to the question is that we are inside of, part and parcel of, he who is guiding, they who are guiding, him and she, he, Radha and Krishna, male and female, yin and yang, who are guiding. And I think that's all we could do for the moment without that person asking a direct question.
Okay, so next question. That person is, why cannot it be like it's just chaotic without one master guiding it to some perfection?
Well, it's like set theory. Set theory means if I have got a collection of things of one type, that's one set. And this is high school algebra, not algebra, maybe algebra. I think one set of things, another set of things, another set of things that are all related. Put those sets together, you have a master set. Take that master set and put together master sets all over so many little items all over the place that are similar type, then you get another master set. When you're dealing with existence, conscious existence, there is a master set known as all attractive. Why is it all attractive? Because that's the name of the master set. The master set has to be all attractive or it wouldn't be the master set. It's a set from which there is no higher set.
Mm-hmm.
And all the subsets go down, 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 down until you get to the mice and the rodents and the maggots and the whatnots. And all living beings are part of that master set, but they're in different categories in the set concept that here's 20 sets with a master set of 20 sets. There's another 20 sets, master set of 20 sets, another one, 10,000. Then they come up to another set. They're all within the set that contains 20,000 sets. That set goes up, then it gets into a bunch of sets. In the end, you come up to the set that controls all the sets. That's simple math, algebra.
Right. Okay, so I think we'll end it there because we have a lively discussion. So I'd like to share some comments now, and then we'll end it at that.
Oh,
So,
please do.
Okay, where is it? Is it this one here?
So
So,
read the comments I made, okay?
huh?
I'm just joking.
Oh, yeah. So we got about 4 viewers here, and then there's some saying, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Maharaj, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, the soul desires, but some are material and some are spiritual. Hare Krishna from Mumbai. Bhakta Singh, I love your videos. I told them, you're welcome, join us next time. So you can see here. So I think people are appreciating what we're doing because this is a very unique way of discussing things, which you cannot have in a temple or anywhere else. Even in a church, you can't have this type of discussions.
Yeah.
The best time to keep the boat from sinking is before it's full of water.
Right.
We want
All
to
right.
keep the boat from sinking, catch it when it's just a few holes and you can plug them up and bail the water out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And
time
that's what
to
we're
hang
doing.
up.
It may seem like we're long into Prabhupada's reign as the Acharya, but we're very short time into the 10,000 years of Kali. We're only like 500, 600
You're cutting out, Prabhu. You're cutting out. We have to cut out, I guess.
Golden age of Kali. We have plenty of time. Well, okay. Will I live long enough? Doesn't matter. I'll continue in my next life.
Hare Krishna. Jai.
What we want to do is prepare enough fathers and mothers in Istagosthi so that when we take our next birth, we'll take good births to preach in the golden age of Kali.
Hari
Okay.
Bol, Jai Prabhupada. Hari Bol.
All right. Thank you very much to all the devotees for attending. Jai.
Right.
And
I was worried you came in late. I was worried that you were not going to come in.
so the thing is that anyone who's watching this video on YouTube and Facebook and anywhere else, if they'd like to participate, please join the WhatsApp link in the description. You'll get to our group, and that's where we have discussions, where you can ask personal questions. You can get to know who we are, what we do, and what we're doing, and how you can participate, and how you can change the world.
And we will
Haribol.
treat you with dignity, and we won't make fun of you, and we won't act superior, and we won't try to become your guru.
Yes, we will never try to be a guru.
We will honor
Haribol.
you. We will honor you and offer you Krishna's love.
Hari
Jai.
Jai Prabhupada. All
Hare
glories to
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada. Hare
Okay, so
Good
Mahaprabhu,
night.
last words from Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu's been quiet. Last words, Mahaprabhu. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Mahaprabhu.
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes. Last
Jai.
words from
Hare
you.
Krishna. It was
Jai.
a pleasure. It was a pleasure to be in everybody's presence today or tonight.
Jai.
Aw.
Thank you so much for having me.
So our
I
next
love it.
meeting, yes, our next meeting is Wednesday, then Saturday and Sunday. So we're done for the week.
All right. Have a great
right.
week.
Jai Prabhu.